Hello, today we are going to learn how should we create the architecture of Xamarin.forms project. I created some folder for the specific files. It followed the totally MVVM pattern. Uh, so let me explain the folders like one by one. Here first I created like folder is the behavior to put all the behaviors files in. It's like numeric validation behavior. Suppose if you want to validate some data on the fields in your XAML files, you can create the behavior for that, like behavior is directly attached to that control. Whenever your like suppose you your text changes, then this behavior will call and you can validate your fields value. And now secondly is like the common folder where I put some constants file. So in this context constant files, we can put some constant for our projects. Third one is the controls. In the control, suppose if you want to achieve some native functionalities or some native controls, like you want to create a entry renders and you want to create some want to apply some extra properties in your entry to achieve some native features. So you can put your all the custom entries like custom and custom controls in that folder. And like the fourth one is like the converter. Suppose you have you want to achieve some functionalities like in your XAML there is visible property, and you are binding with a variable that is kind of boolean, but you want to bind with the uh, opposite value. Like suppose the value is true, then you bind with the false value. Then you can create the converters for this. So here I put all my converters. And suppose your API is interacting with the servers via using the REST APIs. So you want to create some exception, or you want to some exception handling. So I created my nested exception and I put all the files in the exception folders. Now if you want, like you have a need to create some extensions methods, extensions for the particular objects, like in you have a list and you want to like convert into the observation collections. So you can create the extensions for that, and you can put the folder like here is the interfaces and the service. Like suppose you want to communicate with the REST API, so best example is like you can create a services for this. Like suppose I created a authentication service. So in the authentication service I put a method like authenticate register. We can put any method, and it's returning a task or type of authentication response. To achieve this, I created a service folder in which I create a class like authentication service. And in this I am implementing that interface I authentication service. The method is authenticate. Now here we can call our REST APIs methods. We can call the HTTP's client and all the things here, and we can return the response from this. And that the next service I am using like this. Here you can create dependent service to get the authentication service, so you will get the authentication service object. And now you can use your authentication service to authenticate the user. Here you can get the response, and you can bind this response to your view models, to your views, and you can bind your view this view model to your views and your pages. Like I created the home page. Here you can bind that view model. So this is the basic MVVM pattern. So we can use this for create our enterprise level applications. And suppose if you want to achieve some native functionality, so you can in the particular native platform folders, you can create like our renders, dependent services, extra. You can use those services and renders in your forms projects, in your core project. So this is basically the Xamarin architecture that we can follow to create our enterprise level applications. Yeah, one more thing, like here we can to register the dependency, like we can register the dependencies like this. So register authentication service and authentication service, and now we can use that service is like this. And in our app.xaml we can create the application.resources. Here we can create our theme and our resources dictionary. We can apply here it. We can apply some styles that we can use in our whole projects. So basically this is the architecture that we can use to create our applications. Thank you.